Okay, my friends, here are some short videos that I added up for us to have a very well written handbook for our construction. So the items I'm placing here are for new construction and also for remodeling. Details that are very important for us to pay attention, okay? So we are going to make a handbook, a written handbook with all these details in proper alphabetical order for each item. Here's just for you to have an idea, and for the engineers, for the builders, and also for people that will be working on those sites, because they're going to be residents, many of them, right? They're not professionals, so they need to see what's good, what's bad, and some details that I'm pointing out here, so they are aware that everything needs to be done really well, right, and neat. Okay, all right, so here we are. Let's start with our videos. Thank you so much for your participation. Okay, so here we are showing some wires that some people put in a post for the fence to don't fall. But look, it's too low, it doesn't work. We really have to be safe. Safety is our priority in everything we do. Okay, very, very important. All right, here's a tub, with lots of cement left over from tiles and grouting those tiles. There's many people that know how to do that without making so much mess. So we need people that will learn how to do very good work instead of leaving, leftover items like that. They're not needed, not good, not possible. Look, can't even take things out from the wall. So we're gonna have only very good people working everywhere. All right, they can get trained and organized. All right, so here it's for you to have an idea of so here we're going to use those parking lot cement bars for us to use at the garden area as a frame. We're also going to have meetings every morning before we start the work, very short meetings, right? Update meetings and proper training before people start their work. This is really important. Everyone properly dressed and, ready to do their work. All right, we are going to have 3 hooks. I said 4 there, but gonna be only 3 hooks for the items we are going to use. We are not going to have mini tiles at the sink. That's not needed, not useful. And also we are not going to have this drain, these big large holes. We're not going to use that. We're going to use the small ones, okay, that we can press and they close, the same as we use in a bathroom. But they will have proper netting. We're gonna give examples at the training afterwards. All right, so that's forbidden to have marks on counters. Even this apartment is not even ready, and people already make the mess. So it's mandatory for people to use a towel, cotton towel, and clean everything as they are installing things. Clean, already clean, and shake them well on the proper location, because gonna be some cement or dust or wherever it is. Do not leave anything like that on sinks. Look at that. Some things are even hard to take out. Some was easy, but not all of them. And all materials need to be done really well, made it in a very durable way. We are not wasting any material. What we find in some constructions are not good. Every single thing gonna be used, reused, and reused. That's a rust mark there. The place was not even installed yet, not even offered. Here's a very bad finishing area, and we're also not going to have any and not the ones that are part of the cabinet itself, because we don't want the cabinet to have two parts. One, for example, is the formica and then the wood, because they take apart. All cabinetry doors gonna have one plain piece of door. Cannot be pieces combined or decoration of metal lines or anything like that. So this handle, cabinetry handle here, it's when you really put your hand there, not tiny ones. You don't want anything tiny. And we don't want anything that's more than 10 centimeters either. So everything needs to be about 2 centimeters, 2 to 10 centimeters, depending on the size of the door. Needs to be look good, right? Cannot have huge handles for small cabinetry doors, ones that won't be needed. We need something that's gonna look nice, but nothing tiny that's hard to hold, hard to see, hard to, if it's evening or early morning, right? Something that's durable. When you're building, make sure you always close the drain like that, so no cement or powder will go inside. So we have, very durable pipes afterwards for a long time. Cabinets, everything, always clean them really well with the towel that I said, to have a good, neat job. Always done. This is small tiles for the kitchen area. As you saw, they're going to be bigger than that because small ones are not durable, okay? And all the sinks, faucet need to be long, as I just showed, and always clean. Always have a clean area. Wipe it down. Made a mess, a little mistake, okay, wipe it down right away. Don't let it dry. So your work always going to be clean and neat. No waste of material of any type, even sandpaper or hooks or screws. Everything put in a proper box, and save it for afterwards. Everything gonna be brought in a proper amount to be used. All doors, like front doors of the apartments, gonna be painted at the proper location or outside. Outside can be touched up if they came from far away, but never ever inside the apartments, because the paint that they have gonna be really strong and it's not good to breathe that paint. We need proper masks. Okay, that's not acceptable. You see that? A little glue there or stuck or something that was at the door. Even hard to take it out. I tried to take it out, I couldn't do it. A lot of material. So really, everyone needs to be really careful and save every tiny thing, even though they are half centimeter long. Let's save. So we are ready to talk about those drawers, because most complex they are, more materials they need, and we are avoiding that. Okay? No dishwashers, and every sink gonna have a little something to close them up until the water is properly working. So we won't have any spills like that one on the floor. Because if the sinks are not properly installed yet, the pipes, they're gonna have a little paper, right? So no one gonna wash their hands there. That's very important. Or their cotton towels. We are not going to have big trash cans like that one, or bicycles racks like that. Okay, and all buildings gonna be only 2 floors high, not longer. For those that were already building 3 floors, they're gonna take one out or make one more and make it total 4. Okay, all right. If it's really not a big deal, that's our objective. If it's still time to do it and manageable, of course. Okay, you see this roof here? In bars, we cannot have that. We need proper roof to give protection for the people that are passing on the first floor, for rain, or take them out completely. Okay? So all the porches gonna have a protection, kind of protection for the rain, So they also can have some hangers there. But the other idea is to have one of the apartments to be the washer room, and they will also gonna have proper clotheslines to dry their clothes there, and a fan installed right there. So that will be really sustainable. Gonna spread the week of the family's gonna use that washroom. So one room gonna be used for laundry and one room for the computer. The camera person gonna be watching, the own residents, the own neighbors. Okay? All right, we're doing good. And the other things, porch doors need the frame as well. You see, as the other floors there, they need a proper frame. They cannot be like that to avoid people to walking from the garden. Everyone gonna use their proper door. So the camera people in charge gonna be doing the work for all families the same way. We're not going to have open garden areas like that straight to the garden for the apartments. And all windows gonna be large, open well. And for second floors and above, gonna need a child-proof large net. That's very important, okay? All the parking lot gonna have a study. It's better to take them out and make garden beds, or they are going to stay for play area, ball play area, like basketball court. No one gonna have little tiles on the walls like that one. I just showed very quick, I'm sorry. Everywhere can have benches, that's nice. But no one gonna be doing a mess like that. Look, paint left over. That's me working there. Did you see me? That's me. All right, so no one gonna make a mess like that on windows, on doors, anywhere. Made a mistake, clean right away, okay? Because we need to, and no fans like that, that are not even straight. Everywhere, people building, we're not going to have lights on during the day. We all need proper sensors that are really, really, really durable, okay? And we are going to have fans, only where very needed, and put it properly, okay? So he already said all the parking lots gonna have a study. Where's the best place for basketball and some rackets, small rackets like tennis, short rackets for people to play, and which one's gonna be taken out for proper garden work and have a proper frame like this one. On those frames, for example, this parking lot of this construction area, we can take them out, those trees out, and place a fruit tree, far away from each other, so they will have plenty of sun, and also the gardens will have plenty of sun. So here's an example of flooring. We're gonna take all regular flooring away and place interlocking tile, because that's very durable. It retains moisture, so to last for hundreds of years. Okay, so I'm showing here a bathtub with cement in it, leftover grouting, so we cannot do that. The grouting needs to be really durable, a type that won't get mildew, won't get stained easily, won't get stained at all. We need some only materials that are very durable. Also, those tiles placed on the wall are too dark. Okay, so when it's dark like that, we're gonna take them out and put clearer ones. They can also have a blend of shady colors, but not like that. We're not going to leave electric panels open like that. We start, we finish, and go next apartment. All right, this is an example of not needed tub covered, this type of plastic. So everything that's not needed just to transport and don't scratch and things like that, let's not use them. We are not going to have any apartment that's for handicap, such as very large doors, very large toilet seats. Nothing of that are needed, because no one gonna be handicapped, okay? And also we cannot have people using silicone and clean their fingers on the floor like this one. Everyone gonna have their little towels. We're not going to have any water heater like this one with covering around or things like that, because it's not needed, not sustainable. People in warm countries gonna have an electric shower. That's it, And people, of course, in cold countries can have an electric heater that's really durable and not covered like that, because those things are not needed. In a very cold days, because it happens sometimes, right, on those warm countries, people can warm a little water to wash their dishes, put a pan on a stove, warm, and do the dishes in a warm water. That's fine, okay, because some cold days will happen. And the line to have one or the other will be determined by the organization, volunteers, on the best as possible according to the temperatures that we will have, because we're going to have cooler time on future decades for sure, because we're going to have much more trees. All right, those are stripes that brought the items inside the apartments through the door, outside door, not through the corridor, by their porches. But we have to reuse those stripes, those belts, over and over, okay? We are not going just because, it's hard to bring things back. No, everything that's reusable, we will use, because that's the only way, right, for us to be sustainable and positive. And all materials that are left over, it's not going to be much, because our engineers are going to be really good and calculating really well everything that we will need. And everyone working on those places, they're going to use the material really well and don't break anything, won't waste anything. Every drop, every little bit, the paint on the end of the bucket going to be used. All materials, patching, stucco, everything going to be really, really well used. Okay? For us to be positive and sustainable and very well calculated. All right, we're doing great. The parking lot bars, where now it's used for the cars to stop in a certain location, gonna be transferred, and the same metal little holders, right, gonna be used, or longer ones, depending how long is the ones you have. So they have holes here in Florida. They have holes, and they will be transferred and make gardens. Okay, other details are, so the cotton towel, every worker gonna have. So you can put them in a bucket. Everyone get one in the morning. At the end of the day, everyone drops them off. If needed, a little soap, in the middle of the day or during the break time, the person can go to a proper location. It's very important to shake those towels really well before use them, wash them at the sink, at the designated sink, to avoid any sand, leftover sand. So we shake really, really well. Or if it's really bad, wash them outside, because outside we already have sinks, faucets, outside the buildings. The other idea is for the sink disposable, like some countries have them, like blenders for fruit peelings, veggie cleanings. We're not going to have that because it's not sustainable. They break with time, with the years. We're going to have regular sinks with a net to grab any little parts and put in a compost bin and not on the drain. That's very important. All paint inside and outside going to be really, really durable and washable. Okay, washable with cloth inside, and outside going to be really durable, to use pressure clean sometimes, or just wash with hose to take the dust out. Okay, and for places that have a red dirt, with time the wall's going to get this paint from the dirt, right? Some areas in some countries they have them, so they can have some color that's not completely white, right? A little beige or something, different tones of beige, because that's going to be sustainable for that area. Okay, the other thing is that all apartment front doors gonna be placed at last, because people are gonna be coming in and out, in and out, in and out. So it's not sustainable for people to be open the door, close the door, open the door, close the door. It's not sustainable. It's too much waste of time. So those doors gonna be placed at last. Let's do everything else, because a little dust, that's fine, can clean up afterwards, right? And the windows, have them all open up all the time for fresh air. It's very important on construction sites for us to do the cement roads and cemented areas as soon as possible. For what? To avoid cement dust going up and down with the wind, right? People breathing that cement. And for anything that's needed, instead of sweeping, we're going to use vacuum cleaners. You have very good bags, trapping bags, not those that do not have bags, but very good ones that can get the dust, the cement dust in it, instead of people sweeping. Everyone is to have interlocking tile. Okay, why? Because they're the most durable. They have the impact absorption from the tire material, that rubber, and they also have proper insulation, so no humidity will go out up to the apartments. That's very important, okay? All apartments are gonna be completely done with interlocking tile, and then comes the cabinetry. We do not want to put cabinetry straight on the floor, because it's gonna grab humidity from the cement floor. Okay, so we need the interlocking tile for everyone, everywhere in the whole planet. That's very important. All old ones need to be taken out for those reasons I'm explaining. And we are only going to have cabinetry that is attached to the location. We are not going to have movable metal kitchen cabinetry. Or also for the bedroom, we are going to have everything properly attached, okay? Because that's the most durable, the most sustainable for all of us. All the metal ones on those countries that still use them are going to be recycled or properly incinerated, and we are not going to have them. So we are not going to have the electric plug for the cell phones down like that. We're going to have higher, so people can, put a table or a chair not too low like that, but about a meter higher, so going to be more sustainable. We're also going to do all this baseboard afterwards in a very, very durable way. We're going to be plastic, pre-made plastic. They can come through the window, or they can be made in tile, but only if they're really durable. I think, I need the engineers to tell me which ones will be better, but I believe that the plastic ones are easier, quicker, pre-made, many meters, and already cut, instead of cut inside the apartment and have this plastic dust all over, already cut outside, because they're going to have a pattern. All the apartments going to have a pattern, so they can already pre-cut them outside. Okay, so everything gonna be done really in a neat way, so we won't have any trash like that. It's forbidden to have trash. You use what you need, what you're assigned to use, and put the baseboard soon after the interlocking tile. Okay? Alright. We're doing great. So, and also the windows, we're going to keep windows open, unless it's raining, of course. At the end of the day, everybody close them to avoid rain to come in, so the materials are very durable. Those parking lots already said, so for the part that have already a garden area, like that green part I just show you, can put fruit trees, big fruit trees, because you see we have a lot of space until the following one. Okay, but of course, according to each apartment, where the sun, if it's north or south hemisphere, and place more gardens towards the sun and more trees towards the back. Okay, and all the hard equipment like tractors needed gonna be properly scheduled, so they help different constructions in nearby locations, the same county or even nearby county. So we use them really, really well because they're very helpful. Of course, they can lift the whole materials, right, of bricks, of anything, in an easy way. But we need to schedule proper time with all of them. Okay, so here the other important thing here, it's for us to do install the windows, of course, as soon as possible to avoid water coming in, and the porch door as well, as soon as possible. We are going to have benches like that, no bike frames like that, they're not needed. What else I can say about this? Yeah, we already covered that area, right? No little tiles like that for decoration. They're not needed, not sustainable. Okay, bugs can go in, and spiders and webs. It's very hard to wash, clean, take dust out. We're not using. And kids can get hurt, or people, when they're having their garden right close by to their apartments. Every apartment gonna have 2 garden beds, large garden beds, right close by, right? The best as possible, because if something like that were already done, pedestrian sidewalks, they can go across the street to have proper ones. But they can have right there, it's easier for people to be inspired and get their things. But if they're on the opposite shaded area, so they're just gonna have ground covers that can grow in shaded areas, right? Because some apartments gonna be facing the back anyways. Okay, on a shaded areas or early in the morning sun. Okay, so I already talked about that. All these lines that were already painted, we're gonna paint in the better matching color, like here, the dark gray, right? And cover them up, right? Because we're not going to have any cars. All the sign, this one like handicap, you see it in blue here on the right side, gonna be taken out and properly recycled. The plastic sign and also the aluminum metal frame gonna be recycled. Okay, so we're doing great. So these are just simple ideas for us to know and be really good at it. Okay, so here all of the sidewalks gonna have a good spacing. I think 2 meters for the areas, most common areas, right, where people really gonna be trafficking around the clubhouse and areas like that. And after in a regular place can be like a meter or so for areas that just the family's gonna walk, not too much traffic around. We are not going to have any dirty windows or doors like that. Okay, so this is very important. We have to always work being neat and clean, right? And to be really organized. All fruit trees gonna have a proper frame holding it really strong, because some fruit trees will already be like 2 meters, like this one right there, you see, in the best way as possible. Okay, because we want to avoid any strong wind or people bump into them, to damage them in any ways, because we're really going to work hard to have very good fruit trees. We have to take care of them. Okay, all right, so we're doing great. All those bars for parking lots gonna be used, if you already have them, gonna be used for the garden beds. And we also can have taller made ones, that they will last for hundreds of years instead of timbers. That's another thing. So all these bars, parking lot car bars, right, to stop them, they can be made like 15 or 20 centimeters high, right? I think that will be really sustainable with metal pins sliding through, already pre-cut and used for the garden beds because they're gonna last longer than the timbers. Okay? All right. So this video is for us to have those baseboards already pre-made in very strong, thick, durable plastic. Okay? All right. And here again, the tub and every area we're gonna work to already clean. Don't make a mess. Don't leave any leftover materials. Our work is clean and neat at all times. For existing buildings, all the electric power box and wires inside the walls going to be taken out completely. So we put really durable and strong new wires for the solar panels. Okay? Oh, I think I already showed that, right? That's not needed any covering for anything. It's plastic to scratch. We don't need those things. Okay, so the other thing is, yes, for example, here is an example of tape that we can use, right, to paint the boards in a more sustainable, fast way with machines. So we can use tapes for these 28 weeks, like was shown there for the key holder, or just place the key holder afterwards, right? That really makes sense. So everything, we have a good plan to make things in a very durable, positive way. There's no need for that. Okay, so here is showing that we can do the mirrors without frame, like this one here, you see? If they're really well attached with some screws or part of the wall, that's fine, but they cannot have just simple glue. Need to be really well attached. I think the best is to put the wooden frame around, so they will last for hundreds of years and are safe for everyone. So we won't need the screws because they're hard to be cleaning all the time. Okay? So here I just showed that all the corners there need to be done really properly, really well made. Just to have a neat environment, nothing trash like that, anywhere. Okay, so we always be working with neat environment, in a neat environment. Okay, so that's very important. And everything, just clean the dust away, take everything to be clean, not like that, it's just some exercise. Okay, we're not going to have rails for windows or porch doors that already have cement pieces in it. So this following too much. So I was just showed there. You see the rail is already dirty, so we cannot do that. We're gonna work, as I said many times, in a very neat and clean environment. If the person needs, go get a vacuum, use the small vacuums, right? Use and return and have it neat. We're going to have proper inspections often to make sure everything will be done in a good, positive way. So we're not going to have washers and dryers combined, and we're not going to have this type of water heater anywhere. We're going to have the regular ones that do not need all this covering, okay? Because this covering is not needed, not sustainable, not positive. Yeah, that's the combo. Everywhere gonna be taken out. Everywhere that do have them needs to take them out. Okay? All right. So this is the example of the floor that we're going to have all tiles placed first. No refrigerators. We'll have a stainless steel cover because they're very hard to clean. They need special products that are not sustainable. We're just going to have regular white refrigerators. That's the best for everyone. You see this porch here is the second or third floor, probably third floor, do not have the childproof. So we need to install the big nets with big holes, the childproof as soon as possible. So we are safe for the workers and already safe for the families. As soon as all materials will already be lifted by those tractors, lifter tractors, they can already place that very big net, childproof net. And soon after, the mosquito nets only on places that mosquito are dangerous. Okay, so here's for us to show that we can put the door handles afterwards. This is a spill. We won't have that. That's not authorized for anyone to spill anything. We're not going to have food or drinks in any apartment during construction. We have to eat in the proper areas. This is a metal wire there that I don't know even how these things were left there in a metal frame. Look, a little piece of wire cannot be taken out. I tried a few times, could not take out. So those type of things, all the materials need to be checked before they leave the manufacturers and go to construction areas. So everything that we are sending gonna be really checked and good to be used to avoid those type of things. All exterior doors and inside doors gonna be painted on manufacturer places, and they can be touched up at the very end, but not right there at the apartments, because they need those special masks to paint them with machines, for them to be well painted with very, very strong paint. All the exterior doors, the front doors, the apartment front doors, gonna be metal doors, very, very strong metal doors, to avoid problems, like wooden doors with the metal bars on the bottom only, because of the ears they can pop up, on those locations. So this is another thing we can use, and not wooden doors for those areas. All apartments gonna have a automatic closer, I don't know how they call, but that the door will close shut, right? But not the ones that are too strong, like fire doors. We don't need that. That's too much. Just a simple slide and close. Okay? For us to avoid doors to be open. If the family sometimes need, for some reason, air circulation, that's most needed, they can put a proper sand a door stopper, right? A plastic or wooden door stopper, that's okay. I think the plastic one gonna be more durable and sustainable. Or they can also put a bag of sand. Not a bean bag, because you're not using anything with food, right, as an object needed. So they can open the door a little bit for fresh air, and soon after, 1 hour, 2 hours or so, they can close it. We are not going to have apartments for handicap of any type. No large doors, no large toilets, anything like that. It's not needed, not sustainable. Everyone going to be healthy. And for those that need remodeling, go already do it, what is needed for them to have regular apartments. For anything else that is dirty, like little pieces that fell in little spaces or so, get the vacuum, use, return, done. The work is done. So we can have clean environment all the time. So it's forbidden to have any carpentry dust on the floor. It's not needed, not healthy for anyone. Everyone is to have those proper tables used and cut the wood, but with the bags, cotton bags, to protect and gather the dust right there. The other thing that we are not having dirty rails. So when the flooring team comes to put the flooring like that one, right, that has little pieces of little stones or so, look like a shiny thing, right? That seems sustainable instead of tiles. That really seems durable and sustainable, but needs to be done a proper way, with care, without any trash, to have the blowers to blow very well any tiny thing, so the floor can be placed nicely, neat, and be smooth, without any pieces, even on the corners and hard places to reach. The other thing for this flooring, that we need a good pattern, so when people are for the large corridors, we cannot have lines in the middle, right? So when the people are doing this type of flooring, needs to be done in a whole way, completely on that area, and then they come back next day and do the other area, instead of doing a half of the corridor and another half of the corridor. Why? Because when they do a half, the material used does not match, and then you have two different patterns, and they're not straight, does not. So those type of floor need to be done on the whole corridor at the same time. Okay, wall to wall at the same time. Thank you. We are not going to have insulation made out of glass fiber anywhere. All of them need to be taken out, from walls, from roofs, because they're not good. If they get any humidity, they get mildew, need to be replaced. I don't even know if they can be recyclable. Okay, so we're going to have other type of insulation for roof, for walls, like sound barriers, for flooring, okay, from people that live on a second floor and so on. So we will have good sound barriers, good humidity barriers for everything we need, and temperature barriers for the roof in very cold and very hot areas. All showers gonna be electric in warm and cold areas, okay? And in very cold areas, as the organization volunteers will set it up, we can have water heaters for the whole house, because that's sustainable, okay? So, but not with that cover that I already showed you. We're just gonna have regular water heaters without that I think it's fiberglass or foam protection. Those two things are not sustainable, not needed. When the apartments will be completed, we will already have them all furnished, all of them already set up with all the basic things for the families to already arrive, okay? And some details, as the towels, kitchen towels, bed linens, and things like that, can be all placed in a separated room, and given as the families for each apartment will be already scheduled, okay? So they won't need to get any of those things. The other things that we can already have in a separate place, it's clothing, regular clothing, like jeans pants, jeans shorts, shirts, t-shirts, right? College school shirts and regular t-shirts to sleep, all already set it up. And as each family have a sign for each location, they can have the items as bed linens and towels dropped off, and they will check for their clothing when they arrive. We are not going to have microwaves and dishwashers. They are not sustainable and not needed. Refrigerators are not going to be stainless steel because of the chemicals they need. Alright, so we're just going to have white, regular refrigerators with freezers, because the freezers can keep, for example, the family went for fishing, or can keep also some extra fruits, right? Instead of making people eat what they don't need, if they have plenty of seasonal fruits, right? They can keep to be used in the following month, right? Or something like that. So they're very useful. Everyone gonna have regular small refrigerators, not the double doors. They're not needed, but with a freezer that will be very useful. And people can put in plastic bags or plastic containers their food to freeze. All the beds gonna be regular wooden beds because they're strong, sustainable, and they will last forever. In hardwood, all the furniture gonna be in hardwood. Metal beds can be used, but not like those, just a very simple frame, not like that one. Okay, so for the metal, we still have to see what can be offered that will be really durable. But the woodens are all already authorized, including the underneath frame. Gonna have proper, frames really well attached, so nobody gonna be able to take pieces out, but the bedding can also breathe in a good way. It's very important for us to have bed to avoid the animals, right, from outside, like the first floors. So it is important for everyone, mandatory for everyone to have proper beds and open underneath, not with drawers, so they can be clean with consistency every week. Easy to sweep, easy to mop under it. In the same way as the couches and couches of 2 seats and everything else you're gonna have to be easy to clean underneath. Drawers are not going to be used because they use too many little parts, and if they break, we're not going to produce more of those things because we're trying to avoid machines for producers the best as possible. So we're not going to have all these tiny things and extra little hooks, little things. So that's why shelves are not going to be used. All of them are going to be taken out, and we are going to use regular cabinets with proper doors and proper shelves inside. Shelves can be in wood or in strong metal, like those that usually people put in floor by the hangers. That's okay because everyone gonna dust them nicely, right? And they're also good because the cameras can see through, so that's very good for closets. But we can have wooden ones as well because they're short. Okay, for cameras, we're going to have cameras all over, okay, in cabinets, under cabinets, for us, the organization, volunteers, to see what people are cutting, if they wash hands or not. So every hole, every light, everywhere that's possible, going to have these tiny cameras that last for many, many years, for many decades, okay? And one day, when those batteries of those tiny invisible cameras are gone, already past many decades, and people already have good practices. But the regular big cameras gonna stay forever connected to the solar panel electricity, to the electricity of the solar panel, So this way we're gonna have the tiny ones for many decades and the regular ones for eternity. That's important for us to have. From the time that I already explained that the land is approved to build, the owners were contacted, people got the deed. All right, from the first visit, like 10 posts gonna be placed with cameras, right? On that video that I already said that. And every single step, as the buildings start to come up for Disneylands or any building of any type, we need cameras all the time, tiny cameras and regular big ones. And anywhere that we need, we can use both types right now for these 28 weeks, the ones with batteries and the one with solar power. The important is to have them. So we are sure if we have any mistake, who did that mistake. If we have anyone doing only positive practices, right? Let's focus on a positive. So we'll be checking everyone at all times. And we're also going to have a trailer with people checking those cameras, the tiny cameras and the solar panel cameras. From the first day on, we need people to be checking that. People that are chosen by the organization, volunteers, that are really well organized and done it properly. We also have those tiny cameras and regular cameras at the clubhouse, at the pool area, apartments. As soon as possible, start to build new walls, start to build a new roof, a new ceiling, a new bathroom. Put the cameras in. The only place that we're not going to have those cameras are inside the toilet stalls, the little area of the toilets. But all bathroom common area is gonna have those two types of cameras. We need those things so we can check people, for people, make sure everyone is doing their job properly, because they're going to be doing their own homes. So this helps a lot. I'm sure everyone's gonna save material, be clean and neat, because they're making their own apartments. That will be a real gift, right? But we also have to be checking everyone to make sure nothing negative will be done, right? And no material will be wasted, and everything else we already have been saying. Also, we need tiny cameras in all offices, laundry rooms, everywhere, garden area, right? Streets, common garden areas and porches, everything, everywhere. All those cameras properly connected to some apartments that gonna be the security apartments, and those on those apartments also gonna be checked by someone else, or the neighbor community. But we need those security guards also to be checked, what they're doing, how they're doing, if they're working properly or not. They're going to be checked as well. All right, we just have to see who gonna check. I think nearby communities can check each other on those cameras. The water and electricity needs to be installed as soon as possible, because some places it's 7 o'clock in the morning, still dark, so people can start working. And some other places, going to be winter times, already start to get dark, on the opposite side of the sun early in the afternoon. So people can really work till 6 o'clock. Actually, everyone going to stop about 20 minutes before the noon and 20 minutes before 6 p.m. so they can clean their tools, organize their area, clean up materials in case it rains, right? We need this cleanup time. If needed, they can have more than 20 minutes, but I think 10 to 20 minutes, right? So the person in charge of the construction gonna say according to the stage of that construction. But all materials need to be properly cleaned, wiped out. No cement on tools, to dry out on tools, right? If it's a shovel or anything, we're gonna be washing everything really properly. So we're also going to have a proper place for the concrete, because I'm saying cement, but we're gonna use concrete the best as possible. So everything gonna be really durable for millenniums, okay? Because we're not going to have all constructions done over and over, right? We can have paint to repaint buildings every few decades, every 2 decades or so. Depends on how much is needed, but not construction materials. So we need everything really strong to last for long time. The sinks gonna be closed during construction until they finish all the walls and little tiles around the sinks, so we're sure no sand or anything else gonna go on those drains. right? So those drains are clean, because many, we don't want, actually, better words, we don't want to have drains already clogged at the construction time, leaving pieces of cement falling or sand. None of this is good. We're going to have everything neat and clean and have clean pipes all the time. The rooms that will be receiving the furniture, will be receiving those towels and clothing for people, right? Things that everyone needs, the bedding, gonna be made, as I said before, gonna be made on these villages close by to these new lands, right? And in the city, if that location, land in the middle of the city, was bought or given. All right. As soon as the apartments start getting ready and we're going to need those materials to arrive, they can stay at the meeting room. That's very sustainable, right? Use everything really organized, separated. We can use folding tables to put the materials on the top of it so they won't be on the floor, right? For fabric materials, clothing and towels, bed linens, kitchen towels, and things like that. So we can use those meeting rooms. Meeting rooms gonna be done as soon as possible, like the clubhouse, right? As soon as possible. So we have an office and start sending back the trailers that won't be needed, right? Because as soon as we can monitor the area with cameras and the village is really close by and have good internet access, we don't need those trailers anymore. The trailers are needed right there on site. So we have people checking the materials. Going to have a lot of tools, a lot of materials. Depending on the area, also the country, right? Because some areas are quite, don't need that many families. And just a few, maybe 4 it's enough. But depending on the area, it's good to have 8 or 10 families right there on site. Each one with their own trailer. So we have people on site. So who's going to decide that are the organization volunteers. Because we are not going to waste any land. Land in a city, land far away, big lands like that's going to be our new lands. If it's donated, let's start. It's good, it's practical. They have good soil. That's one of the main things. They're in a warm country, right? Tropical and subtropical country, warm. Our tropical and subtropical way of saying, not the one established by common books. So this way we are going to be really safe and organized, right? And use those spaces the best as possible. Those meeting rooms, yes, we can have a few families in a sustainable way, not too close to each other, with fabric division side to side from each family. Why is that? Because the clubhouses, for example, they're going to already have shower, they're going to have for the pool, they're going to already have bathrooms, right? So we can release those trailers as soon as sustainable. Okay, because other people can start using the trailers for new other lands, right? New lands. Okay, and we're gonna have sheets, bed sheets separating one family to another. So one family won't see another family sleeping, person sleeping. But everyone gonna be checked in cameras anyways. Gonna be people checking first thing in the morning, the night. If anyone does anything wrong, they're gonna be checked. So no one gonna be doing anything wrong at night. The cleaning towel that every worker gonna have and return at the end of their work period gonna be about 20 to 20 in cotton, okay? And be used over and over and over. As soon as the land, this construction site, have washers, they're gonna wash outside first to take any sand, leftover sand, and they can be washed at the washers. And next day use again, be available there. Because they can be a little humid, that's fine. They do not have to be completely dry to be used next day, because a little wet is even good to take a dust, a little paint mistake or anything was done. And the other thing is for painters to always use a cardboard on the bottom where they're painting. That makes sense, my friends, right? Always use cardboard. No newspaper because they fly away. No fabric because what we're going to do with the fabric afterwards? Not sustainable. No synthetic fabric because not even biodegradable. We're going to use cardboard boxes. Okay? Right there, about 40 centimeters or so, about 2 meters long, 40 centimeters wide. And they can be used over and over and over for hundreds of apartments. Strong cardboard boxes. They won't fly away with the wind. They are stable, sustainable, strong. Okay, and we can use them afterwards for garden. Put upside down, the paint down, and with time, the paint gonna decompose. For paint, that's like the satin, right? The shiny ones that has plastic in it. You can scrape out or just wet well at the end of the construction, right? That no more constructions nearby can use them. So we can wet them well and take those little pieces out and put in a designated location, and can use the leftover cardboards in a garden beds to avoid weed growing. All those plastic containers for caulking, right? They're really practical. What we're gonna do? We're gonna recycle them using to the last drop, rinse on a proper location where we're gonna build afterwards a basketball court, so they can be without any leftover materials, the same as buckets that carry paint, that are this paint that is not washable, right? So we're gonna wash them really well, and the buckets can be used for that community afterwards. And for all other caulking material, they're gonna be sent to be recycled in a nearby city, but without materials in it, because they dry out and they're gonna be harder. They have to be made in a way that will be easier to take them apart, to be washed as soon as no material be left in there. All paint buckets approved gonna just have a paper or a plastic, because some places rain a lot, it's very humid, attached to it, glued to it, or even with a tape, and not with painted all over with all the explanations. Why? Because we're going to use those buckets afterwards. Instead of having them painted, it's better for us to have plain buckets afterwards. So all the buckets will be plain and white or orange, so from far away we can see them. Not brown, not dark blue, not royal blue, okay? Because we're going to have them always very clean, and those buckets going to be used for many different reasons. I'm not saying here now, but to hold water, carry water, hold materials, pick up trash and things like that, debris, natural debris. They can be used for many different things, and they will always be washed really properly and stay there, that community that we're building. We're only going to have a small fence, right? If it's the constructions on a city, right on the front by the road, to avoid people to get in or something, but not those for materials, for construction materials to don't get out of the land, because that's not needed, not sustainable, and no one gonna be trashing or even having any disposable from fast food. So the site gonna be really clean, nothing gonna be flying around, and everyone gonna be sustainable. Okay, what we really need is the sign of the site with the address for proper deliveries to arrive, and as soon as possible also the receiving security area, right, for only authorized trucks to be delivering materials, the trailers first and materials soon after. Okay, for apartments that for buildings that do have many apartments one beside the other, like hotels in a long corridor, we're gonna see if they're gonna become apartments, residential apartments. We're gonna see if in the middle we make a break for sun and windows, or if they're gonna stay like that. Depends how many they are, right? But it's important for us to focus, always focus in the whole building, or if it's too many, on a whole floor. Get everything done on that floor, that building, depends how big they are, and get that done. For example, for remodeling places that need the water efficient toilets and faucets and things like that, right? So they're gonna go and get everything done in a few minutes, done. All right, then they go to the next building or the next floor. They get all of them done. And while one team, one couple, or 4 people go to one apartment, one couple or 2 couples go to the one across the corridor. Okay, they finish and they go to get the next one, because this way they're gonna be checking each other for time, because they're gonna be already established. Because we're not going to have people that's going to be the whole day installing those toilets or water efficient in general, right? Going to have very efficient teams working fast with attention. And then before the end of that period, going to come someone else and check all their items installed, if they were done really properly. And also the other security teams on cameras gonna be checking for everything else, right? How was done, not only the end product, the end of the installations, but also how was done properly. They clean up the area, they dry out the area before put the caulking, or they put the caulking of a toilet, for example, toilet seat on the top of a wet floor. So this is important. The new toilets arrive, where the old ones are going, how they're going. The job was done really properly as the training was offered, things like that. Okay? Awesome. The cabinets, housing cabinets, can be clear, right, or plain white, or brown, a good tone of brown, good tones of blue, but never black or gray. We're not using black or gray. All right, for the paint. Paint is good because for some places that will make the wood last longer. But we still examine that, because maybe the plain wood will be more sustainable along the decades, because they can last forever as soon as they have a good finishing. Because some type of wood finishing, so it's not really a type of varnish, it's a treatment they put, that goes under it. It lasts forever, does not stain. That's very important for us to have in all our furniture and cabinetry. And I think without paint at all, the cabinets. So for the cabinets, we're still gonna give you an update on that after our study is completed. Okay, so thank you so much for your participation. That's a part 1, and I have some more videos to show in a part 2 with more details. I really appreciate your attention, and those details that's still missing, we're gonna have proper studies and people, experts in the area, to let us know. Okay, all right, thank you so much. Have a wonderful and blessed day. Always work safely, right, for everything we do. Okay, take care. Talk to you soon.